In the recent news, a kayaker known as Keith Kirkham was given a reason for having passed away in August of last year. On August 7, 2012, the body of this Essex resident was found on a beach in Bradwell, as the BBC News Essex reports. At the end of February, a final report shows that Keith had died of heart failure caused by an electric shock. And here to explain the fatal accident is unqualified but should be physics expert Oliver McKennedy. Now, Oliver, what can you tell us about the electric shock that struck and killed him? Well, what can be explained here is the fact that at the time he was fatally killed, it was an obviously stormy, thunderstorm-like condition. What you can expect in these cases is the dangerousness of a lightning strike. A lightning strike can happen at any point where he had no possible chance to get out of the water, and it was probably too late at the time. The storm got worse. But usually in a storm such as this, there is something that the lightning strike can strike, and that wouldn't cause any harm whatsoever. Now, is that right? Ah, yes, that is true. Though you have to keep in mind that he was in a kayak. A kayak has no such pole or rod that it can strike without any troubles. Had he been on a large boat or other means of water transport other than a small craft, the effects probably wouldn't have been so severe. What about the physics concerning the electric charge of Mr. Kirkham and the lightning itself as well? Well, the clouds that carry the lightning discharges usually have an order that they put electrons and protons in. Protons, which are positively charged, are placed and collect other particles at the top of a cloud, while the negatively charged electrons are at the bottom of the cloud. Other particles, including the positive charged protons, as I mentioned earlier, are collected by the clouds during this type of event. The negative electron particles can move around, especially in a lightning strike. So the position that they are in the clouds, these negative particles, the way they're placed in the clouds at the bottom, since they can move, that's pretty much logical. As for Keith Kirkham, the person who did get struck, what was his beef in all this? It is told that he died of a heart failure at the time he was fatally struck. Could this have had something to do with the charge that he had? Relating to physics? Yes, that is the likely answer to this question. Within the cardiac cell is a resting membrane potential that has a negative charge of 70 millivolts. Now, in situations like receiving an electrical charge, the cell membrane's potential is pushed into a positive charge. This would be in something like a defibrillator being used to shock the heart to get the blood flowing in the body again. But if the charge is sustained for a long period of time, the hearts begin to fibrillate and stop pumping blood. It affected Keith in a way that involved the lightning strike giving him too much of an electric charge, which started to fry his cardiac system. Like a tree getting struck by lightning, the effects on Keith that the strike had were fatal enough to cause his death. And this is how this tragic accident played physically then. Yes, that is how it happened. Well, thanks, Oliver, for that explanation. Oh, yes. And may his soul ever rest in peace. Oh, indeed.